A new law that allows police to charge drug dealers with murder if a user dies from an overdose is being applied to a woman accused of buying drugs from a dealer. Grapevine police arrested and charged Cammie Ludwig this week after her boyfriend's November overdose in a Grapevine home. Police say she purchased fentanyl-laced pills, Xanax, cocaine, and more from dealers in Fort Worth and Louisiana. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager is in Grapevine with the story. Peyton.
Steve, and Grapevine police say that Cammie Ludwig purchased fentanyl pills from a dealer in Fort Worth multiple times. In fact, police say the night before Nolan's death, she traveled to that Fort Worth home and then back here to Grapevine. An arrest warrant was issued on Friday for murder. Police tell us she turned herself in yesterday alongside her attorney. North Texas attorney and former Tarrant County judge William Shane Nolan died of a fentanyl overdose in November. Nolan's girlfriend at the time, 35-year-old Cammie Ludwig, now faces a murder charge nearly 3 months after his death. A new state law went into effect in September, creating a criminal offense of murder for manufacturing or supplying fentanyl that results in death.
They found evidence that she sought out the pills, she bought them, and she brought them back to the victim, where he then took them and died.
On November 20th, 2023, Grapevine police responded to a death investigation at a home near Hall Johnson Road and Pool Road just before 5 a.m. Police say Ludwig called 911 and claimed she woke up to Nolan lying unresponsive next to her and ran to a neighbor's home. Nolan's 9-year-old son was also home at the time. When officers entered, they found the 47-year-old dead in his bedroom from a drug overdose. According to an arrest warrant affidavit, the Tarrant County medical examiner later confirmed fentanyl and trazodone, an antidepressant, were both in Nolan's system. Detectives located 40 blue fentanyl-laced pills marked with M30, along with cocaine, oxycodone, and Xanax in Ludwig's purse. They also found pills on the floor next to the bed where Nolan was found and a cut straw on the vanity, suggesting pills were being crushed and snorted. Ludwig was initially arrested and charged with possession of a controlled substance in November. A search of Ludwig's phone revealed her sources of the fentanyl-laced pills were identified by the names Blue and T, who live at a home in Fort Worth. Phone records also showed Ludwig traveled to the Fort Worth address the night before Nolan's death. Police later found a package at Nolan's Grapevine home. It was from Louisiana, addressed to Ludwig. Inside, an iPhone box with dozens of Xanax pills.
So it's more evidence that she was the one bringing in the drugs.
I think it'll be a difficult case for the state to prove.
Tuesday, we spoke to criminal defense attorney Zachary Ferguson, who was not affiliated with the case. The law allowing Ludwig to be charged with murder is still new and so far has mostly been used against drug dealers and drug suppliers. It will be up to a grand jury to decide if Ludwig's alleged purchase of the drugs that led to Nolan's overdose constitutes a murder charge.
From my understanding, that the facts of this case, I don't think that that's what was the intent of the bill. When the bill was passed, I don't think it was intended to pursue individuals who are drug users.
Now, Cammie Ludwig has hired an attorney. A statement from her attorney was released to Fox 4 saying in part, fentanyl murder is a serious accusation and judgment should be withheld until all of the facts and circumstances are known. We proudly defend Cammie as she too struggles with the loss of a beloved friend. Now, Ludwig has since bonded out of jail, and Grapevine police tell us they are still working to track down these drug dealers. That is still an open investigation. They say more arrests could be coming.
A man who got into a gun battle with Dallas police is now out of the hospital and behind bars.
Body camera footage shows the rolling shootout between officers and 23-year-old Reginald Curry over the weekend. It happened when officers say they interrupted the robbery of an illegal gaming room in Dallas's Redbird neighborhood. We warn you, some of what you are about to see could be tough to watch. Fox 4's Blake Hansen.
Surveillance footage inside what police say was an illegal gaming operation shows what triggered a 911 call around 12:30 Sunday morning. As officers arrived, a man walking out the back door tells police the robbery is still ongoing.
Hey, are y'all being robbed? Are they inside?
Yeah. As a group of officers heads into the back, other officers swoop around the front to see a man, later identified as 23-year-old Reginald Curry, bolt out the front door. A squad car captures Curry pointing a gun at officers as he runs into the parking lot. Body-worn camera footage captures what happens next.
Hey, get out on the ground! He's got it. Charlie 723, shots fired, shots fired. Charlie 723, shots fired.
The gunfire continues as officers take cover.
There he goes. Charlie 723, he's running toward the Taco Bell. It's going to be a heavy set black man in a black hoodie. He is armed and he is shooting.
Officers then give chase and catch up to Curry as he runs toward a Wendy's parking lot. They continue to give commands even though shots have already been fired.
Show me your hands! Show me your hands!
Video eventually shows officers move in on Curry down outside the fast food restaurant.
Both hands, keep them where we can see them. We will shoot again.
Curry tells officers he shot in multiple areas, and officers begin medical care as soon as they remove a gun from his pants.
Show me where it's at. I got a tourniquet.
Although no officers were injured, it did not mean there were not some close calls.
Cause a bullet go right past my head.
This is the first officer-involved shooting involving a Dallas police officer in 2024.
In a video statement released by Dallas police officers shared that multiple officers struck Curry.
Officers gave loud commands for Curry to drop his weapon. Curry refused and continued to fire at officers. All officers returned fire, hitting the suspect in the leg and chest area.
All right, so police say one suspect left the business after Curry and took off and escaped. Curry's injuries were listed at one point as critical, but he's now in jail on a $300,000 bond.
The overdose death of a 17-year-old Collin County teenager has opened another federal drug investigation of fentanyl. Good evening, I'm Clarice Tinsley. One suspect is charged with conspiracy and drug distribution. Fox 4 Stephen Dial is live with more.
Chance Stovall was found unresponsive in the bedroom of someone that he took fentanyl pills with. That person survived, but in the midst of multiple convictions and arrest of dealers and distributors, the fentanyl issue is still spreading in North Texas.
Got a knock on my door at 5 o'clock in the morning. 2 police officers knocked on the door.
Robbie Stovall is describing January 30th, the day that changed his life forever.
Your son overdosed, and he's being rushed to Children's in Dallas.
His 17-year-old son, Chance, a junior at Wiley East, snuck out of the house to meet someone in Richardson. The two snorted fentanyl-laced pills. The suspect, 21-year-old Connor Miller, survived. Stovall did not. Court documents say Miller told officers after snorting 2 pills, he nodded off and woke up to Stovall unconscious on the floor where Miller believed he had overdosed. Robbie Stovall is now left to cope with the guilt and sorrow.
But as a parent, you have to give them a little bit of space so they can learn things on their own. You see what I'm saying? Unfortunately, this lesson cost him his life.
Investigators at the home found evidence on a nightstand that the suspect was battling addiction, saying an attendance sheet in the name of Connor Miller for Alcoholics Narcotics Anonymous meetings. There was also a note written by Miller acknowledging his self-destructive spiral, saying, quote, "If anything happens to me, I love you, and I thank y'all for all the chances. I'm sorry I did this. It was not on purpose. Give info for a funeral. We'll give it to people I was in rehab with. I love all of them. Love, Connor."
It is a 70% likelihood that you may get one that contains a lethal dose.
The special agent in charge for the Dallas DEA, Eduardo Chavez, says every fentanyl high is a gamble. In 2022, 6 in every 10 pills the DEA seized contained a deadly dose of fentanyl. It's now 7 in every 10. Miller told investigators he started taking Percocet pills when he was 17. Chavez said this is a case of someone with an addiction problem also becoming a distributor.
We don't want to just identify that one person who sold that last dose of deadly fentanyl pills. We want to identify where they got it from and then where that person got it from.
Court documents say Miller started taking fentanyl pills last year, around the same time he met Stovall at work. Miller's dealer, referred to as the plug, allegedly sold him pills at least 6 other times. Miller and Stovall met the plug in Dallas, according to investigators, and made a $40 purchase that would end Stovall's life. His father describes a young man who loved sports and playing with his siblings. He's hoping this interview can make parents more aware.
I wouldn't be doing my son any favors if I didn't stand tall on this and tell everybody in the world about it.
The DEA special agent in charge says that this is not the end with this case. They are going to continue to search for more suspects and work their way up the chain, and says that this investigation is definitely not over.
Stephen Dial reporting live. Stephen, thank you.
It's been just more than a year since a father of 6 was murdered in Arlington, and police say they're still no closer to finding the people responsible. Ali Ismail was murdered on Valentine's Day last year. Surveillance showed 2 men trying to break into cars in the area. Police believe they're responsible for his death, but they still haven't been identified. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager is in Arlington tonight with the story. Peyton.
Stephen, Arlington police are still relying on anyone from the public to come forward with information. Detectives say all they really know right now is they are looking for 2 young males. And 1 year ago, they didn't receive many tips. So now they are asking again. 1 year after father of 6, Ali Ismail, was randomly shot and killed outside his home, Arlington police admit they have nothing.
Admittedly, we were kind of pleading for the public's help to try to get some leads.
Police are relying on one piece of grainy surveillance video. 2 young men are caught on camera pulling on door handles on Prentice Street minutes before the murder. The 36-year-old had just finished working the night shift. Police say Ismail was met with immediate gunfire as soon as he pulled into the driveway. Ishmael's wife and children heard the gunshots and ran outside. But a cascading string of bad luck led to limited evidence in this case.
By the time, officers respond to the scene, who knows how many vehicles left for the day for work before we realized, oh no, these suspects were grabbing door handles, and that further taints evidence if we try to go back and collect it.
The murder happened in the early morning hours of Valentine's Day, 2023. A heavy rainstorm overnight hindered detectives from grabbing any fingerprints. Plus, no cameras captured the suspects taking off. A $10,000 reward is still on the table.
Somebody knows something, Somebody must seen them, these people.
Friend Mustafa Yassin has been the spokesperson for the family. Yassin says his friend owned a trucking company to provide for his family. Ishmael's widow tells Fox 4 off camera she still lives in fear while raising her 6 children. She was pregnant at the time of her husband's murder. Due to stress, she had a miscarriage. For the last year, Yassin has been trying to help in any way possible.
That lady's tough, She went through a lot that nobody's supposed to get. Nobody's supposed to. I don't know. I'm speechless when it comes to that. She has tough skin. Have to live the memory every day. It's very hard. We're appealing to the public. The community.
In another avenue, Arlington police say they will continue to compare ballistics from this murder and other crimes in the city, but so far, no matches.
The Ellis County Sheriff's Department says a robbery suspect has died after an officer-involved shooting that happened late last week. It happened in Glen Heights, in a neighborhood northwest of Avila Road and I-35. Fox 4's Blake Hansen spoke with neighbors who heard the gunfire. Blake's in Glen Heights tonight. Blake.
Yes, Steve, Texas Rangers are heading up the investigation into the shooting in Glen Heights, but it wasn't until today that the Ellis County Sheriff's Office, which is investigating the robbery aspect of it, revealed that a suspect was not only shot, but had died.
Broad daylight's crazy.
In the middle of the afternoon Friday, folks on Sunburst Drive in Glen Heights got the sense something was up.
I was on a management call and overheard the gunshots, and the first time I ignored it. The second time I heard like single shots, and then the second round sounded like machine gun shots.
When Stephanie Norman made her way to the front of her house, she saw plenty of officers.
By the time I made it to my neighbors, a couple other police came out, and I saw a cop run out his gun, and so I don't know what was going on. We didn't know. We had a lot of speculation, but we didn't know.
Later that day, Texas Rangers released a statement saying Glen Heights officers responded to a robbery in progress at a home. Rangers said one of the suspects fired at officers and there was an officer-involved shooting. But the statement did not say whether anyone was injured. Finally, Thursday, the Ellis County Sheriff's Office, which is handling the robbery investigation, announced officers encountered individuals matching the description of the robbery suspects. An attempted apprehension of the suspects ensued, leading to an altercation in which officers discharged their firearms.
So whenever you involve the Texas Rangers or DPS, they are very quiet about the work that they do, right? And that's a good thing. That's not necessarily bad, right there.
Dr. Alex Del Carmen is a criminologist who helps train law enforcement. He notes more agencies, including departments like Fort Worth, Arlington, and Dallas, are quickly releasing some body camera footage of shootings involving officers.
They basically release the body cam and dash cam video that, again, it may be redacted, it may be edited. But they understand that there's a balance between what the community wants to know and is entitled to know and the due process that either the officer or an individual involved in the case should be given.
For now, neighbors like Norman are less concerned about all the details, more caught off guard something so serious could happen on her street.
This neighborhood is really, really quiet, and usually the only thing you hear are the kids, like when they get off the school bus and stuff like that.
So now as we approach about a week since this incident, no identity released on that suspect, no release of any footage. And we have reached out to both investigating agencies seeking more clarity, but still a lot of questions tonight. Steve.